everyone, and welcome to the Board of Trustees Budget Adoption Meeting of April 29, 2019. Will everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please?
Trustee Andino.
Present.
Trustee Lang.
Present.
Trustee Howell. Present. Trustee Lee. Mayor Luisi.
Present. The first order of business tonight, before we get into the budget adoption, is we have two appointments to make. And the first one will be appointing Laszlo Castellanos to the Planning Board for a 5-year term to expire on March 31, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second. Trustee Andino.
In favor.
Trustee Lang.
In favor.
Trustee Howell.
In favor.
Trustee Lee. Mayor Luisi.
In favor. Our next appointment is appointing Anthony Forgione as an ad hoc member of the Planning Board for a 1-year term to expire March 31, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Trustee Andino.
In favor.
Trustee Lang.
In favor.
Trustee Howell.
In favor.
Trustee Lee.
In favor.
Mayor Luisi.
In favor. And if I may, I would just like to thank both these individuals for volunteering for this most important position here on the Planning Board. But I also would be remiss in not thanking Claire Gorman for her many, many years of service as a dedicated member of the Planning Board, as well as the time she served on the Village Board. And what many people don't know is she was also very instrumental in environmental issues here in the village. So, again, I would just like to thank Claire Gorman. We appreciate all your service to this village. And again, congratulations to our new appointees to the Planning Board. Does any of the board like to make a comment?
I think I'd also just like to let the residents know that we did have several members, so we were pleased that we had interested residents wanting to serve for the village, and we look forward to getting those people involved also in various capacities.
Thank you. Okay, our next order of business is the public hearing to consider a proposed local law to repeal local law number 3 of 2018 to repeal the override of the tax levy limit on the fiscal year ending 2020 village budget. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, does anyone here in the public have any comments they would like to make? Okay.
Trustee Andino.
In favor.
Trustee Lang.
In favor.
Trustee Howell.
In favor.
Trustee Lee.
In favor.
Mayor Luisi.
In favor. And at this time, is there anyone?
Now we have-
What's next? Number. Right. Well, at this time, is anyone would like to address the board on any agenda items? All right.
now close.
Now, following resolution is adopting to close the. Okay, here we go again. I got to get this. This is some movie script. So we have a motion to close the public hearing on the proposed local law.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Trustee Andino.
In favor.
Trustee Lang.
In favor.
Trustee Howell.
In favor.
Trustee Lee.
In favor.
Mayor Luisi.
In favor. Now can I move on to the budget now? Thank you. Resolution number 2 will be authorizing the adoption. And now it's resolution number 1, authorizing the adoption.
He's just testing me.
He is. Authorizing the adoption of the fiscal year January 1, 2019. we're going to really, I know, isn't this something?
You didn't read it.
Okay, we'll try this again. Adopting a proposed local law to repeal local law number 3 of 2018 to repeal the override of the tax levy limit on the fiscal year ending 2020 village budget. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
A second?
Second.
Second.
Trustee Andino.
In
Trustee
favor.
Lang.
In favor.
Trustee Howell.
In favor.
Trustee Lee.
In favor.
Mayor Luise.
In favor, yes. Now can I go on to the next one? Thank you. Authorizing the adoption of the fiscal year June 1, 2019 through May 31, 2020 village budget with the following modifications. So these are modifications that were made to the tentative budget that was issued back in March 20th to be exact. The first, and this is all in the revenue line, the mortgage tax in the tentative budget was estimated at $101,840. The modification that we made in our work sessions increased that number to $118,590 for a difference of $16,750. We also increased the parking Lake Avenue line from $200,000 to $208,500 based on the list of folks that we have waiting for parking spaces, which is a difference of $8,500. And the most substantial was the sales tax. In our tentative budget, we had slated for $1 million. And we have increased that to $1,104,723. So it's a difference of $91,530 in the total revenue line. And David, if you can, or would you please just expound on what we just mentioned here?
For the sales tax specifically?
Yes, please.
So the actual, just to make clear that the tentative budget had the sales tax at $1,038,000 and it went up to about $1,104,000 for the difference of $66,000. The reason why we re-looked at this line is that after the tentative budget came out in March, the New York State budget came out, and there was a couple of different issues that we were looking at, or still looking at. One is the internet sales tax revenue that did pass the New York State budget that will be forthcoming, which allows sales tax to come in, and it'll flow down to the village. It's going to be very difficult for the first few months to figure out how much is that going to be. That's why this revenue estimate is pretty conservative. But one of the issues that we're also looking at that has yet to be signed, that was passed by the New York State Legislature maybe a month ago, was the sales tax increase for Westchester County specifically. The governor has yet to sign that, and there are some specific deadlines of when that would come into place. But this $66,000 really represents the internet sales tax, and it's a conservative estimate, I think, as of right now.
And these are guesstimates that have been made by you and the Treasury Department. Thank you. So, do I have a motion to adopt the budget for June 1, 2019 through May 31, 2020?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Andino.
In favor.
Trustee Lang.
In favor.
Trustee Howell.
In favor.
Trustee Lee.
In favor.
Mayor Luise.
In favor. And at this time, I'll ask any members of the board if they would like to make any comments about this budget.
I would like to say something.
Sure.
Okay, being new to the board, I'm learning a lot. I am super impressed with the department heads who work so diligently to stay in budget. Working together as one, we were able to keep at our tax cap.
Thank you. Anyone else? And I just have just a few remarks that I would like to make. And once again, Albany mandates that municipalities across the state operate at a 2% tax cap, and it will now be a permanent benchmark effective the last New York State budget that was just passed. So in that regard, this board has met that obligation. We have, this budget that we just passed is at the tax cap of 2.2%. And more importantly, in my estimation, is this budget is best for the village for its ability to allow day-to-day operations to continue at the current levels. And this budget also plans for major capital improvement projects, which are so vital to correcting and maintaining our current infrastructure. And as Trustee Lee said, this budget is a result of the hard work of our village administrator, David Burke, our new treasurer, Ryan Rueda, who also worked with the now retired Jim LaPerche. And of course, again, our department heads who once again provided sound budgets to our Treasury Department. And I also would like to mention that our department heads continue to receive grant funding for so many of the projects that are necessary for them to continue to operate in their respective departments at no cost, of course, to the taxpayers of Tuckahoe. Our fund balance is at a healthy level, and the financial overseers of municipal finances continue to complement its stability and continued prosperous outlook. And this board remains committed to exploring ways to improve the village's financial outlook and ability to provide the so many reasons people want to live here in Tuckahoe. And that will move us on to resolution number 3, which is authorizing the following modifications to the Village of Tuckahoe license and permit fee schedule effective June 1, 2019. Now, these fees apply to commercial pickup by our Department of Public Works here in Tuckahoe. And this is a fee schedule that has not been increased in many years, and we're just staying in line with current carding companies. As a matter of fact, we're lower than private carding companies, so it still remains beneficial to commercial businesses here in the village to utilize the services of our DPW. So do I have a motion to authorize these modifications to the license and permit fee schedule?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Andino.
In favor.
Trustee Lang.
In favor.
Trustee Howell.
In favor.
Trustee Lee.
In favor?
Mayor Luise.
In favor. And at this time, this is the second opportunity for any members of the public to address the board. If not, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Seems so weird.
Miss Lively, would you like to come up?
We never do a roll call for
Of course you could.
We never do a roll.
No, we'll back up for a minute, of course.
Adjournment. I wish all meetings were like this. Wow.
Not our luck.
So, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Lovely Billups, South High Street, Tuckahoe, forever. I think my family's been in the home I inherited since 1936. I am a tremendous Tuckahoe advocate. And a few things that I wanted to share with the board, so thank you for the opportunity. First, Steve Eklund is not here, but I've always wanted to send congratulations to him for the term of service that he gave to this village. I thought the world of him. I thought he was a very honest, decent, and productive mayor. And I just wanted to go on the record that I admired him, and I certainly wish you, Mayor, the same.
Thank you. Thank you,
Success that
Lovely.
he
I
had.
appreciate that.
And again, congratulations to you. You're probably, in my term, as long as I've been here, I think this is probably the most diverse board that I can recall. And I wish you to use that diversity to its best advantage. Sometimes if you just have the same thing all the time. When I was a little girl, I went to school in the British West Indies. My grandparents were born on an island where we sang God Save the Queen, and we sang Rule Britannia. Well, that was big then, but I bet you know Britannia's not ruling anything right now. So the diversity is a good thing. You know, spices things up. So, and you know I'm happy about the women on the boards. I would be amiss if I didn't say that. I want to go back to something I said to Mayor Eklund, and I'm saying it to you about the Christmas decorations. That may sound way out, but it's been on my mind, and I've got to get it out. First place, I think the Christmas lights on Main Street are iconic. It's just like what, who's the great American artist who did Americana all the time? Well, our Main Street looks like that. What's it?
Rockwell.
Rockwell.
Norman Rockwell.
And congratulations to the Pope Foundation for that magnificent nutcracker thing they do. After that, I am not very happy with our village square. I don't think that a private enterprise's display ought to so outshine. Our tree looks like a miniature. So I mentioned it to Steve. He said that someone was working on it. I'm just saying, I hope you continue to look at the village square, the tree and the decorations there. They don't stand up to the rest of the exhibits. And I've heard that from a lot of people. In fact, they've kind of teased us about our tree. So, okay, you asked for it, so you're getting it. I was very proud of the Her Art exhibit. That, I don't know if you mentioned that before I got here. That was here Saturday. It really was a level of class. And congratulations, Mr. Mayor, for hosting it. And also,
The credit goes to the Trustee Howell and, of course, Trustee
Andino.
Andino.
I don't think it didn't help.
Well, thank you.
And of course, I'm so proud of Trustee Andino. But it's the kind of thing that I think a Westchester town or village ought to portray. It's a level of class that was really very, very nice. I was so proud of it. And I know people who weren't here who heard about it were calling me and saying, gee, why didn't you tell me? But I don't think we put enough advertisements out there, as far as I can tell. But that was just a touch of class to me. Okay, so have I said all the good stuff? Let me see. Christmas decorations, okay, her exhibit, and my pride in the diversity here. I do have an admonition that I want to bring up again. I mentioned it to our mayor, our present mayor, and I'm saying it again, that once you are elected, you know, all the campaigning, all that goes in there, all gloves are off, people do what. Once you are elected, then what you select to do is important. You go through campaigns, people do all kinds of crazy stuff or good stuff. But once you're in that position, any action that you take should be together in the interest of me, my family, and my taxes, by the way. And that I just want to be sure of that all the time. I had some concerns, and I'm bringing it out again, about the selection of deputy mayor. Now, I want you to know, and I don't have to say that, I voted for Trustee Lang, and I voted for Trustee Andino, because nobody tells me what to do. And I believe in, this is not rule Britannia, or rule Republicans, or rule Democrats. This is the village of Tuckahoe. And in my opinion, when it came to selection the person who's going to be the deputy mayor, that's not a voted position, then I would hope, I don't think this time that that was the best selection. And based on what would be needed and the way we've seen the village board meetings over the last year. And I hope nobody gets offended by this. I don't mean it to be offensive. I mean it to be a recommendation that I'd like to feel that when you make decisions here, all of you, that they are in the best interest and the best selection that you can make. And thank you. I wish you all the best, all luck. And I've been here a long time. I don't know how much longer I'll be here. But I love Tuckahoe, and I wish you the best. Thank you.
And thank you for coming up. Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion again to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Until then, good night, Tuckahoe.